One thing I love is finally being able to say, you can finally get this champagne at one of our shops here in St. Paul, Minnesota at the Dabbler Depot. The Dabbler is one of my favorite shops, not only because I work with them and they sell my champagnes, but also because they have a phenomenal culture. They have a phenomenal outlook on how they see alcohol. They see wines and beers and champagnes and all these things. And they look at it like, this is how we bring people together. This is how communities come together and form. We can break any tension with a glass of whatever. And I really, really love talking to these people and going to their shop and bringing them samples and talking with them and working on new strategies and how we can better get champagne into everybody's glasses. But more on that later.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim against brought me down upon my knees. Oh, I beg and plead, singing, come out of things unsaid. Shouldn't I pull off my head? And a trouble that can't be named. A tiger's waiting to be tamed, singing.
So tonight we have a special treat. We are going to sample one of my favorite champagnes. Not just the champagne itself, but one of my favorite producers. This is the Francis Orban Extra Brut 100% Meunier. Now, I got to tell you, this is special to me not just because I like it, because I do. So, without further ado, let's get into this and pour ourselves a glass of champagne. So the color, this is 100% Meunier. The Brut, the Extra Brut sits and rests on these for 3 years. That's part of why you have this beautiful, beautiful color. But also because it doesn't go under any filtration or any clarification. This is just a pure expression of the grape without trying to pretty it up because it's beautiful enough as it is. Now, I'm not saying anything against the methods of filtration and filtering and chaptalization and finning. I've got nothing against it. Those are all choices that people make and there are reasons why they make them. And one is not better than the other. But in this instance, I can fully embrace why it's it's unfiltered. So let's get a nose of this. Oh, immediately on the nose, you're getting this brightness, which is not always indicative of Meunier. Meunier has a tendency to be a little bit on the denser side, a little bit on the intense side with its fruit, in which I love because I love the Meunier. But remember, everybody's palate, everyone's nose is very different. And when it comes to discerning and placing champagnes, there's a lot of room for individual interpretation, okay? I personally look at it like this. Chardonnay is on one end, okay, because there is no real comparison between the Chardonnay, the Meunier, and the Pinot Noir. However, the Pinot Noir and the Meunier, I kind of view them as like siblings, okay? They share a lot of commonalities. They're very different, but depending on the grape, where it's being grown, how it's being tended to, the ground, the terroir, things like that, those similarities can really start to kind of blend together, or they can really pull apart and become polar opposites. With this Meunier, because I've had it before, but this Meunier is it's so bright and it's so crisp and clean on the nose. It's more like the in between the Chardonnay and the Pinot Noir. Because usually I'll say that the Pinot is what is tying the Chardonnay and the Meunier together. But here, the Meunier is sort of playing the middle ground. And that's one of the reasons I really love this. So let's get a taste. Wow, this is rich. It is very bright, very lively. It has all the flavors of the Meunier that you would expect, but its liveliness is a bit of a shock. Okay, and it's a great shock. Okay, it's like you buy a car and then you open up the trunk and there's a case of $1 million in it. You're shocked, but it's a great shock. Well, depending whose money it was. That being said, the length here, at least on the attack, it is very clean. It's not that long, but that's fine. I'm expecting it to be a little bit longer once I dive in a little bit more. So let's keep going. Let's now get a full taste of this here. Wow. You get a nice taste of brioche. There's some toasted nuts, some honey. Definitely very, very beautiful honey note on the palate, on the nose. And especially after it's gone down, breathing it in, you're really getting that honey. I get some peach, okay, and I also get some. I don't use the word dried cherries. I'm gonna say something more like, I'm gonna say dried cherries, okay, but not super dried where they're super tart and super pungent and super powerful. But there's definitely a dried cherry note here. This is just stunning. I just love the champagne. It is just one of the most elegant and complete champagnes that I've had. And I'm so lucky because I've got about 12 of them downstairs in my cellar. So I get to enjoy these whenever I want. But again, I just love this. And the thing again I love about it is I know the man who makes it. You know, I've sat with him. I've had champagne with him. I've walked around his vineyard with him, and I've asked him questions. And as a matter of fact, I was talking to him just a couple of days ago, just asking him some questions about who he is. You know, I mean, when you get to know people, you start to understand, obviously where they're coming from and their family history and their approach to winemaking. And, I struggle with this because I see all these people as friends. I don't see them as suppliers. I don't see them as a hookup or a whatever. I like these people. I genuinely enjoy talking to them. I enjoy the opportunities I get when I get to visit them, to talk with them on the phone, to break bread with them. I mean, some of the best moments of my life were sitting down with some of these people and drinking champagne and just talking and getting to know one another. And with Francis, this champagne making is in his blood. His grandfather's father, and now him. And what makes this very special is that he takes it very, very seriously. And when he is drinking champagne, it's all about the moment. It's about feeling. It's about an emotion. And he's not really interested in the nuances of, well, what is this going to pair with? What is this going to... No, he wants to feel something. And when I drink his champagne, you get that. You definitely get an emotional response. You get a connection to something that you don't understand. And the only way you can ever find out what that connection is to go to Le Meunier and go and visit Francis Orban and sample his champagne with him and have him walk you through the vineyards and explain the terroir, explain the history, explain his grandfather's approach, his father's approach, his future approach. Wow. This is a exercise of the minimum. This is, people are a half a gram of dosage more, a half a gram less. one more week in the cellar. I mean, these people take it down to a very finite degree. So with Francis, he is trying to keep innovating, to keep getting better. And over the years, and it's been 3 years of drinking his champagnes, and now having the full range of them and having gone through all of the champagnes in his range and understood the complexities and the depth of each one, it is crystal clear. He is hunting for perfection. Oh, man. So what would I pair this with? Personally, I think that the Extra Brut has enough acidity and enough brightness to really cut through kind of anything. I would, with this one in particular, I would dare say that this would pair with anything that a good Chardonnay would pair with. It is lively, it is bright, and that palate cleansing acidity to it just cleans your palate right out and makes you want more food and makes you want more champagne. I would stick with, however, lighter red meats. Definitely don't get mad. Veal, okay? Veal would go beautifully with this. A roasted pork would boom, be perfect. This would also go well with any fish, okay? Keep it on a lighter side. If you're going to use a sauce, keep the sauce on the lighter side. But anything with a nice herb or a nice herb butter sauce or even a little bit of lemon sauce to it would just, boom, be perfect with this. Francis would say, with the Extra Brut, keep it simple. Okay, this is an enjoying champagne. This is an everyday drinker. Okay, this is the champagne that you can grab anything, and it'll go well with everything. And that's one of the reasons why having these for me personally in my cellar is a pleasure. I've got a lot of champagnes that are just important to me and special to me, and I have champagnes that are keepers because they are just perfect for any occasion. They go well with everything, and this is one of them. Final thoughts. If you want a champagne that just makes you feel good, that just makes you happy, this is it. Okay, it is got enough complexity to it that'll keep you thinking. It has enough acidity that'll pair well with any food. It has enough body to it that just completes all of its components. Its low dosage makes it crisp on the palate, but the residual sugar is just such a beautiful sweetness, especially in the back of the palate. And its length is just so beautiful. Even now, after having, a minute or so of not having it, it's still resonating in my mouth, and it's just this beautiful honey and walnut and bready note and brioche and deep fruit, and yet there's this floral, light white flower note to it, and this hint of tobacco that just keeps coming, and it's just absolutely beautiful. My goodness! Wow. Well, thank you all again. Another great champagne, another great evening. And I could not ask for a better job. I couldn't ask for better people to talk to associate with. So thank you all so much. And, like I keep saying, we have a lot more coming. We have a lot more champagnes that we're reviewing. And we've got some real big surprises with some champagnes that are going to be hitting the market over the summer. This is going to be the summer of champagne. I know you're probably saying to yourself, wait a minute, who the heck are you? You're just some guy in Minnesota. Yeah, but we are bringing to the United States some of the most amazing, sought after, near impossible to get champagnes from some amazing growers. So stay tuned, listen to the places that will be carrying it, because we're going to be changing the face of champagne in this country. Until the next time, this is the best job a guy could ever have. Stay bubbly.